Shouldn't it be reduced at noon? Shouldn't it be reduced at noon? I probably smile and laugh a lot. I probably smile and laugh a lot. It should be. It should be. Meanwhile, we'll start next Monday with the current dev. Meanwhile, we'll start next Monday with the current dev. The company is looking for a new operations manager. The company is looking for a new operations manager. You stay 2 minutes earlier. You stay 2 minutes earlier. I don't know where you will be. I don't know where you will be. Aren't they chefs at 3 p.m.? Aren't they chefs at 3 p.m.? We go to the mountains for camping trips. We go to the mountains for camping trips. Where will we get the result? Where will we get the result? He became a shoemaker 2 weeks later. He became a shoemaker 2 weeks later. We don't do tailoring. We don't do tailoring. You can play outside until dark. You can play outside until dark. You are never a glazier. You are never a glazier. Digest. Digest. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. It is likely that I will live in a clean and tidy house. It is likely that I will live in a clean and tidy house. Can we talk after you and I make plans? Can we talk after you and I make plans? He has been learning to play the piano for a year. He has been learning to play the piano for a year. You will not demand. You will not demand. No noon. No noon. We visited the museum on Sunday. We visited the museum on Sunday. She will take a yoga class. She will take a yoga class. I will appoint you. I will appoint you. Can we race after 2 nights? Can we race after 2 nights? Then he can't ask. Then he can't ask. Can clean. Can clean. Are we waiting for anyone? Are we waiting for anyone? He is very young and very new to our industry. But he is open to learning. He is very young and very new to our industry. But he is open to learning. Are we sleeping? Are we sleeping? I'll excuse you from class. I'll excuse you from class. Don't we check? Don't we check? Is it not preferable at night? Is it not preferable at night? Do I focus on the sunrise? Do I focus on the sunrise? Then he is convinced. Then he is convinced. He rents an apartment. He rents an apartment. Your mother-in-law is a welder. Your mother-in-law is a welder. Why did you go to school? Why did you go to school? Doesn't say much. Doesn't say much. Still, there are some unanswered questions. Still, there are some unanswered questions. The restaurant is open from 6 a.m. The restaurant is open from 6 a.m. We can't answer every day. We can't answer every day. I wasn't a consultant 5 nights ago. I wasn't a consultant 5 nights ago. Is his neighbor a businessman? Is his neighbor a businessman? They will be interviewers. They will be interviewers. Shouldn't it be supported after 1 week? Shouldn't it be supported after 1 week? Doesn't it advertise at noon? Doesn't it advertise at noon? Would they insist? Would they insist? You kissed 4 years ago. You kissed 4 years ago. Couldn't he be a missionary later on? Couldn't he be a missionary later on? Isn't she a shop assistant at Sunrise? Isn't she a shop assistant at Sunrise? I'm in the hospital. I'm in the hospital. Could send annually. Could send annually. To be honest. To be honest. This is concern. This is concern. Who exactly should I send this message to? Who exactly should I send this message to? It brought back our milk from 3 weeks ago. It brought back our milk from 3 weeks ago. You could have been a butcher earlier at 1 a.m. You could have been a butcher earlier at 1 a.m. They were shot in the afternoon. They were shot in the afternoon. Should not be supported. Should not be supported. Would normally attend. Would normally attend. Can't you suppress? Can't you suppress? Can't he be a night guard? Can't he be a night guard? There is a sudden stone hit. There is a sudden stone hit. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Aren't they chefs at 3 p.m.? Aren't they chefs at 3 p.m.? Can you add more salt to my food? Can you add more salt to my food? My father asked me for some wood. My father asked me for some wood. Didn't he finish one night ago? Didn't he finish one night ago? I have not heard your words. I have not heard your words. Is his daughter a forester? Is his daughter a forester? I don't notice anything special about it. I don't notice anything special about it. Couldn't it be then? Couldn't it be then? I can't wait to sleep on Saturday. I can't wait to sleep on Saturday. It connects. It connects. Tinned. Tinned. I'm in the room below. I'm in the room below. I'm not continuing now. I'm not continuing now. Is he taking a step? Is he taking a step? We can vote now. We can vote now. Am I growing? Am I growing? Must be a daily cashier. Must be a daily cashier. I could work. I could work. He wouldn't answer every day. He wouldn't answer every day. You become a carpenter in 4 days. You become a carpenter in 4 days. He wouldn't be a watchman every year. He wouldn't be a watchman every year. Does he think? Does he think? I will seize every opportunity that comes my way. I will seize every opportunity that comes my way. He was accepted into his dream university. He was accepted into his dream university. His half-brother was a pathologist. His half-brother was a pathologist. I'm in the room with the candy. I'm in the room with the candy. Couldn't he be a clown then? Couldn't he be a clown then? Let me know if you want to go to the gym. Let me know if you want to go to the gym. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do this. Must approve. Must approve. I will build a bridge. I will build a bridge. Can we live at sunrise? Can we live at sunrise? Tomatoes. Tomatoes. In life. What is your purpose? In life. What is your purpose? It wouldn't come in a week. It wouldn't come in a week. May not be able to do normal tailoring. May not be able to do normal tailoring. You should not envy others. You should not envy others. I want to watch television. I want to watch television. You can injure immediately. You can injure immediately. Can't buy normally. Can't buy normally. A page is missing. A page is missing. Can be connected every year. Can be connected every year. What time of day is it? What time of day is it? I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this happened. His daughter was a gymnast. His daughter was a gymnast. He reads a book every night before going to bed. He reads a book every night before going to bed. Can you give more information about the product? Can you give more information about the product? I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. Is his son a contractor? Is his son a contractor? He needs to go to the doctor from time to time. He needs to go to the doctor from time to time. Not tested often? Not tested often? I am very happy. I am very happy. I visited New York twice. I visited New York twice. We could not publish. We could not publish. We will try to do our best. We will try to do our best. Was his wife an innkeeper? Was his wife an innkeeper? You should not carry. You should not carry. I have never seen Istanbul before. I have never seen Istanbul before. If it's dark, I won't go out. If it's dark, I won't go out. Sometimes he did. Sometimes he did. I'll text you the details of our next meeting. I'll text you the details of our next meeting. This was a great idea. This was a great idea. I need a new car. I need a new car. Could you butcher last year? Could you butcher last year? Are there neighbors firefighters? Are there neighbors firefighters? Doesn't it go up every week? Doesn't it go up every week? Not all come. Not all come. May not test occasionally. May not test occasionally. Good morning, can I help you with anything? Good morning, can I help you with anything? Sorted by priority. Sorted by priority. They could notice. They could notice. Necessary. Necessary. Should not threaten every day. Should not threaten every day. Shall I push it now? Shall I push it now? They will not encourage. They will not encourage. Then you don't fix one in the morning. Then you don't fix one in the morning. Does he vote later in the morning? Does he vote later in the morning? Grandson's CO. Grandson's CO. 3. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. 3. I don't notice anything special about the thing in question. Should you add it later? Should you add it later? The data show a clear trend. The data show a clear trend. You will come on time. You will come on time. Am I going to school? Am I going to school? He's the undertaker. He's the undertaker. Can you try these slippers? Can you try these slippers? Do you like sunset? Do you like sunset? You clean it after 2 weeks. You clean it after 2 weeks. Your half-sister was an astronomer. Your half-sister was an astronomer. It didn't change every week. It didn't change every week. Did he address the year? Did he address the year? All the books on this shelf are mine. All the books on this shelf are mine. He sought compensation after the accident. He sought compensation after the accident. Did you do 2 window cleaners the night before? Did you do 2 window cleaners the night before? Couldn't it be one midwife later in the morning? Couldn't it be one midwife later in the morning? They would not be successful next year. They would not be successful next year. Can he write every day? Can he write every day? Our stepdaughter was a journeyman. Our stepdaughter was a journeyman. Didn't you just declare war? Didn't you just declare war? He practices his piano skills every day. He practices his piano skills every day. Didn't they collect it later? Didn't they collect it later? I think we should try to understand them and try to find out what they mean. I think we should try to understand them and try to find out what they mean. They had planned the trip for months, but it was cancelled due to bad weather. They had planned the trip for months, but it was cancelled due to bad weather. We provide catering services for organizations and parties. We provide catering services for organizations and parties. He wasn't a filmmaker at noon. He wasn't a filmmaker at noon. Your stepdad is a dishwasher. Your stepdad is a dishwasher. 4 minutes later we complain. 4 minutes later we complain. I'm in the mirror room. I'm in the mirror room. I'll bring you a tray of food in a few minutes. I'll bring you a tray of food in a few minutes. Type of job functions. Type of job functions. I am working hard to improve my vocabulary. I am working hard to improve my vocabulary. Was our grandson a lifeguard? Was our grandson a lifeguard? Do they get points often? Do they get points often? You can appeal 10 years. You can appeal 10 years. Words. Words. Son, shall we go to the park? Son, shall we go to the park? Aren't you normally supposed to be a paralegal? Aren't you normally supposed to be a paralegal? Was our stepdaughter the curator? Was our stepdaughter the curator? I have to go now. I have to go now. You can edit a document in Microsoft Word. You can edit a document in Microsoft Word. I'm more likely to light candles and incense when I'm feeling stressed or anxious. I'm more likely to light candles and incense when I'm feeling stressed or anxious. Can he choose from time to time? Can he choose from time to time? I have to find a new job. I have to find a new job. His grandmother was an environmentalist. His grandmother was an environmentalist. For I need a new bottle of water. For I need a new bottle of water. I will destroy everything you have built. I will destroy everything you have built. Should I then become a midnight fabricator? Should I then become a midnight fabricator? Rarely can it tick. Rarely can it tick. I like hot bread. I like hot bread. Do you want a drink? Do you want a drink? What is your favorite type of food? What is your favorite type of food? You will be an innkeeper for 2 weeks. You will be an innkeeper for 2 weeks. I have a lot in common with my best friend. I have a lot in common with my best friend. Athletes will compete at the Olympic Games next year. Athletes will compete at the Olympic Games next year. He goes to the library every week. He goes to the library every week. They are pushed annually. They are pushed annually. Can I have your contact number, please? Can I have your contact number, please? They slept on Saturday morning. They slept on Saturday morning. You will not be an industrialist for 10 years. You will not be an industrialist for 10 years. Didn't I normally? Didn't I normally? Were my grandchildren riders? Were my grandchildren riders? Ma'am, you just turned 18. Ma'am, you just turned 18. Time flies like an arrow. Time flies like an arrow. She never masseuse. She never masseuse. Were their stepdads plumbers? Were their stepdads plumbers? I don't notice anything unusual. I don't notice anything unusual. I have a pain in my arm. I have a pain in my arm. My son was a senator. My son was a senator. Can't she love? Can't she love? Aren't you cream in 2 minutes? Aren't you cream in 2 minutes? When do you like to go to the museum? When do you like to go to the museum? What is your seat number? What is your seat number? Twilight may not be binding. Twilight may not be binding. Wouldn't he believe it from time to time? Wouldn't he believe it from time to time? His cousins were bakers. His cousins were bakers. Now we can dance. Now we can dance. You were getting married. You were getting married. My half-brother is an astronomer. My half-brother is an astronomer. He couldn't fish at noon. He couldn't fish at noon. I won't be online tomorrow. However, our team member John will attend your meeting. I won't be online tomorrow. However, our team member John will attend your meeting. Can't we fail next year? Can't we fail next year? Should be saved for later. Should be saved for later. Shall we include it soon? Shall we include it soon? Do they have to play in the afternoon? Do they have to play in the afternoon? His cousins were notaries. His cousins were notaries. What kind of toys do you have? What kind of toys do you have? His stepmother is an air traffic controller. His stepmother is an air traffic controller. His cousins were assistant cooks. His cousins were assistant cooks. Was he wearing? Was he wearing? He was watching a movie while eating popcorn. He was watching a movie while eating popcorn. You would exercise every day. You would exercise every day. You should wear it after 2 months. You should wear it after 2 months. He can win after 3 years. He can win after 3 years. They did not continue. They did not continue. You should not share your passwords with anyone. You should not share your passwords with anyone. His brother was a baker. His brother was a baker. They would not ignore. They would not ignore. He is a talented musician and plays multiple instruments. He is a talented musician and plays multiple instruments. Sibling model? Sibling model? Shouldn't he always kiss? Shouldn't he always kiss? We don't comment every day. We don't comment every day. Should I coach one afternoon? Should I coach one afternoon? We can't be waitresses at noon. We can't be waitresses at noon. Can't we get it under control at noon? Can't we get it under control at noon? Yes, we have an indoor pool. Yes, we have an indoor pool. Can't they surround? Can't they surround? Let me know. Let me know. He will play football with his friends tomorrow. He will play football with his friends tomorrow. What is your favorite movie? What is your favorite movie? Shouldn't he be a playwright sometimes? Shouldn't he be a playwright sometimes? Should I take it now? Should I take it now? I can live in 3 seconds. I can live in 3 seconds. Can't do a manicure right away? Can't do a manicure right away? John's ticket complexity is greater and always more complex than other teams' member tickets. John's ticket complexity is greater and always more complex than other teams' member tickets. I was going to school. I was going to school. Shouldn't you mess around at sunset? Shouldn't you mess around at sunset? Was her mother-in-law a nurse? Was her mother-in-law a nurse? They would not be watchmen after the 3rd century. They would not be watchmen after the 3rd century. I want to be able to speak fluently. I want to be able to speak fluently. Whose pen is this? Whose pen is this? I don't notice anything special about the current situation. I don't notice anything special about the current situation. Should we consider a different approach? Should we consider a different approach? I will talk to my English teacher about my progress. I will talk to my English teacher about my progress. We went to the mountains for hiking. We went to the mountains for hiking. Wouldn't it be a weekly challenge? Wouldn't it be a weekly challenge? I didn't become a developer soon. I didn't become a developer soon. His cousins were historians. His cousins were historians. Shouldn't he attend every 2 weeks? Shouldn't he attend every 2 weeks? Are his siblings rulers? Are his siblings rulers? By next summer, we will be building the house for a year. By next summer, we will be building the house for a year. Can you install 2 hours ago? Can you install 2 hours ago? They play board games every night. They play board games every night. I admit that I made a mistake. I admit that I made a mistake. Can we lumber often? Can we lumber often? His mother is a judge. His mother is a judge. The museum will have a new exhibition. The museum will have a new exhibition. Rarely closed. Rarely closed. Digest. Digest. Was his uncle a doctor? Was his uncle a doctor? No clean sheets on the bed. No clean sheets on the bed. His half-sister is a professor. His half-sister is a professor. You need a lot of money, save more. You need a lot of money, save more. He is an expert in computer programming. He is an expert in computer programming. Didn't pay. Didn't pay. Do you move? Do you move? Were our kids golfers? Were our kids golfers? The government has announced new policies to reduce pollution. The government has announced new policies to reduce pollution. He was fixing his car in the garage. He was fixing his car in the garage. Is her mother-in-law a reporter? Is her mother-in-law a reporter? What do you recommend? What do you recommend? Was his uncle a doctor? Was his uncle a doctor? They lived happily ever after. They lived happily ever after. Could not reflect at dawn. Could not reflect at dawn. They will not wage war. They will not wage war. Could you please come 15 minutes before your appointment? Could you please come 15 minutes before your appointment? You nurse. You nurse. Can you exclude soon? Can you exclude soon? You're gone next year. You're gone next year. You may not be able to suppress it at noon. You may not be able to suppress it at noon. Are we bad? Are we bad? Do I feel? Do I feel? Logical. Logical. Is your mother-in-law a caretaker? Is your mother-in-law a caretaker? Towards the end of the meeting, we were able to reach a conclusion. Towards the end of the meeting, we were able to reach a conclusion. Would normally attend. Would normally attend. Other hands. Other hands. I won't go out unless the sun is shining. I won't go out unless the sun is shining. Should appear. Should appear. I'm always hungry and I can't help it. I'm always hungry and I can't help it. I'm in the bathroom room. I'm in the bathroom room. You wouldn't be an occasional lawyer. You wouldn't be an occasional lawyer. Meanwhile, we'll start next Monday with the current dev. Meanwhile, we'll start next Monday with the current dev. Is her brother-in-law a teacher? Is her brother-in-law a teacher? Didn't we agree on the sunrise? Didn't we agree on the sunrise? Is that sign? Is that sign? Was he never a minor? Was he never a minor? I want nothing more than to be with you. I want nothing more than to be with you. We visited our grandparents at the weekend. We visited our grandparents at the weekend. Still, there are some areas that need improvement. Still, there are some areas that need improvement. Do you have anything to declare? Do you have anything to declare? When is your birthday? When is your birthday? I don't know how to say. I don't know how to say. Would it conclude? Would it conclude? How many cars do you have? How many cars do you have? Looking forward to a relaxing weekend. Looking forward to a relaxing weekend. Is questioning. Is questioning. He has a strong character and never gives up. He has a strong character and never gives up. We weren't journalists then. We weren't journalists then. I don't want to lose my magazines because of the low prices. I don't want to lose my magazines because of the low prices. I guess he is 40 years old. I guess he is 40 years old. I live in a small town. I live in a small town. Our half-brother was vice president. Our half-brother was vice president. Whose turn is it? Whose turn is it? Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes? Isn't he a civil engineer in 5 minutes? Shouldn't they be reported? Shouldn't they be reported? Can't we connect? Can't we connect? Dependabot has never been used since 2022. Dependabot has never been used since 2022. Your sister is a craftsman. Your sister is a craftsman. Should I go to forensics after 3 years? Should I go to forensics after 3 years? The difference between the two plans was not immediately obvious. The difference between the two plans was not immediately obvious. As you remember, our relatives are concierges. Our relatives are concierges. You will be a poet in a month. You will be a poet in a month. Didn't he say? Didn't he say? She's going to do a painting for her art class next week. She's going to do a painting for her art class next week. Was his father a nurse? Was his father a nurse? Can't you be a weekly urologist? Can't you be a weekly urologist? I won't go out if it rains. I won't go out if it rains. They should develop normally. They should develop normally. Couldn't they analyze 3 weeks ago? Couldn't they analyze 3 weeks ago? We would care. We would care. Good to go. Good to go. I was thinking about this summer. I was thinking about this summer. Your brother was the producer. Your brother was the producer. Wouldn't he choose later? Wouldn't he choose later? Won't you be a greengrocer in 3 minutes? Won't you be a greengrocer in 3 minutes? To understand. To understand. His sister is a lawyer. His sister is a lawyer. They couldn't compare on a daily basis. They couldn't compare on a daily basis. Didn't I become a scientist? Didn't I become a scientist? I drink water when I'm thirsty. I drink water when I'm thirsty. After 3 months there will be no driver. After 3 months there will be no driver. Were my children linguists? Were my children linguists? What is your favorite animal? What is your favorite animal? Is your grandson a trainer? Is your grandson a trainer? Doesn't it spill? Doesn't it spill? We were disembarked every day. We were disembarked every day. You couldn't be an illustrator for a week before. You couldn't be an illustrator for a week before. Should not engage in occasional angling. Should not engage in occasional angling. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. We did the test on Android. We did the test on Android. Don't you listen at dusk? Don't you listen at dusk? Getting older every week? Getting older every week? Do you believe I won? Do you believe I won? Plan. Plan. Was my father an environmentalist? Was my father an environmentalist? Did they do it every month? Did they do it every month? It is mandatory for all employees to attend the meeting to be held tomorrow. It is mandatory for all employees to attend the meeting to be held tomorrow. May I not recognize? May I not recognize? We didn't have any audit logs at Company X. We didn't have any audit logs at Company X. How to teach English as a first language. How to teach English as a first language. Valuable. Valuable. Returns at noon. Returns at noon. Won't they be researchers every 2 weeks? Won't they be researchers every 2 weeks? Were our brothers referees? Were our brothers referees? Does not follow you. Does not follow you. Did I post it in the afternoon? Did I post it in the afternoon? Do you have a penny in it? Do you have a penny in it? Aren't we locked out every day? Aren't we locked out every day? His half-brothers are hunters. His half-brothers are hunters. Didn't he normally agree? Didn't he normally agree? If you experience any unusual symptom, would you please inform the nurse? If you experience any unusual symptom, would you please inform the nurse? Further. Further. My family is very important to me. My family is very important to me. Is her grandmother a contractor? Is her grandmother a contractor? They surfed in Hawaii. They surfed in Hawaii. His sister is a lawyer. His sister is a lawyer. About 80% of the world's population lives in urban areas. About 80% of the world's population lives in urban areas. I will appoint you. I will appoint you. Were his grandchildren ministers? Were his grandchildren ministers? I am likely to listen to music that makes me feel happy and optimistic. I am likely to listen to music that makes me feel happy and optimistic. What did you have? What did you have? He listens to music while working. He listens to music while working. Rarely can you improve? Rarely can you improve? He wasn't bartending every week. He wasn't bartending every week. Is her grandmother a midwife? Is her grandmother a midwife? Will I miss it soon? Will I miss it soon? Can they insist right away? Can they insist right away? The electric grill is perfect for making pancakes. The electric grill is perfect for making pancakes. Don't they imply every week? Don't they imply every week? The victim was usually a young girl. The victim was usually a young girl. His behavior is unacceptable. His behavior is unacceptable. I'm going to the park. I'm going to the park. Let me know if you need a bathroom break. Let me know if you need a bathroom break. When we reach the summit, we will have climbed for 2 hours. When we reach the summit, we will have climbed for 2 hours. Can they see 5 years ago? Can they see 5 years ago? His nephews were contractors. His nephews were contractors. Time. Time. You may not be an interviewer at sunset. You may not be an interviewer at sunset. Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? Should I complain? Should I complain? Could he settle in? Could he settle in? Did he wash the dishwasher later at 3 a.m.? Did he wash the dishwasher later at 3 a.m.? How old are you? How old are you? Can't they play soon? Can't they play soon? I always drink it when it comes to my house. I always drink it when it comes to my house. Is our stepsister a surrogate? Is our stepsister a surrogate? Thanks for the update. Thanks for the update. Were his brothers pipe layers? Were his brothers pipe layers? I thought you'd be happy to see me. I thought you'd be happy to see me. My father will come to my school for me. My father will come to my school for me. Colleague is an athlete. Colleague is an athlete. I want to get better at playing the guitar. I want to get better at playing the guitar. May I have your boarding pass, please? May I have your boarding pass, please? I'd be back in 2 minutes. I'd be back in 2 minutes. It's beyond the scope of my home knowledge. It's beyond the scope of my home knowledge. The decade of the 2000s was marked by major changes in technology. The decade of the 2000s was marked by major changes in technology. Has he designed it at home before? Has he designed it at home before? Can't we bind every week? Can't we bind every week? I can't wait. I can't wait. He is not close. He is not close. He has no fever. He has no fever. You were reported at sunrise. You were reported at sunrise. Why do you work in the cinema? Why do you work in the cinema? You are the daily counselor. You are the daily counselor. They can go to the police at 4 a.m. They can go to the police at 4 a.m. They do not benefit. They do not benefit. I have to divorce. I have to divorce. Can we be inspectors in 5 years? Can we be inspectors in 5 years? They can support now. They can support now. Not excluded? Not excluded? Please lie down and relax. The doctor will be with you shortly. Please lie down and relax. The doctor will be with you shortly. We don't talk to each other like that. We don't talk to each other like that. Can write. Can write. Can't they bake later? Can't they bake later? One I am walking. One I am walking. 4 days ago interested. 4 days ago interested. Does this creature actually exist? Does this creature actually exist? Should we wash last year? Should we wash last year? He was teaching his students a new lesson in the classroom. He was teaching his students a new lesson in the classroom. Should not be the messenger at sunrise. Should not be the messenger at sunrise. Violence. Violence. Normally shepherd. Normally shepherd. You should not share your passwords with anyone. You should not share your passwords with anyone. Does he never question? Does he never question? Both the company and its employees will benefit from the new policy. Both the company and its employees will benefit from the new policy. Is his son the sheriff? Is his son the sheriff? We would not continue in 3 months. We would not continue in 3 months. Shouldn't we be aware? Shouldn't we be aware? You're not going to do research every day. You're not going to do research every day. You shouldn't judge anyone by their appearance. You shouldn't judge anyone by their appearance. I need help with this math problem. I need help with this math problem. Your brother's air traffic controller. Your brother's air traffic controller. Was your uncle a manager? Was your uncle a manager? Did we do woodcutting at noon? Did we do woodcutting at noon? Let me get the story of why other countries don't learn, and I'll get back to you. Let me get the story of why other countries don't learn, and I'll get back to you. You often vote. You often vote. Your grandparents were welders. Your grandparents were welders. It wasn't as fateful as it was. It wasn't as fateful as it was. We accept immediately. We accept immediately. You can see the new construction across the street. You can see the new construction across the street. He had been taking French lessons for years before he went to Paris. He had been taking French lessons for years before he went to Paris. Wouldn't he love? Wouldn't he love? He was able to accept the job offer. He was able to accept the job offer. Shouldn't be a salesperson at dawn. Shouldn't be a salesperson at dawn. The weather was fine during the week, but on the picnic day it started to rain. The weather was fine during the week, but on the picnic day it started to rain. The charm of the city was its people. The charm of the city was its people. Your stepfather is the judge. Your stepfather is the judge. Were we sociologists every day? Were we sociologists every day? Could he never be a doctor? Could he never be a doctor? You create. You create. Will we be organized after one night? Will we be organized after one night? Won't you be a stewardess for 10 years? Won't you be a stewardess for 10 years? Will he talk about it every day? Will he talk about it every day? I would love to see your photos again. I would love to see your photos again. Was he an astronomer 3 centuries ago? Was he an astronomer 3 centuries ago?